You are the master of your fate. Let's begin. Are you tired of feeling overwhelmed by school, social pressure, or just the general chaos of being a teenager? What if I told you that the secret to transforming your biggest fears into your greatest strengths was discovered over a century ago? I am going to show you how a man who studied the most successful people in the world left behind a blueprint for conquering every challenge adolescence throws your way. Your life as a teenager can feel like you're standing in the middle of a storm. There are expectations, social pressures, and the constant feeling that you're not good enough or smart enough. This isn't just a part of growing up, it's a test. And I'm here to give you the tools to pass it. The principles I'm about to share with you will teach you that the fears you carry are not a sign of weakness, but a signal that you're on the verge of a new kind of strength. I've seen it in the eyes of so many young people today, the silent weight of fear. It is a quiet burden, often unspoken, but it is there. It is the anxiety of not fitting in, the dread of a difficult exam, the constant pressure to be perfect in a world that demands a flawless image. It is the feeling that you are not good enough, not smart enough, or not popular enough. You may feel like you are the only one who feels this way, but I promise you, you are not alone. These feelings are universal, and they are a sign of a mind that is constantly at war with itself. They are the result of a mind that is filled with doubt and uncertainty, a mind that has not yet been given a master plan. I want you to understand that these feelings are not a sign of weakness. They are a signal that you are facing a challenge. And what you'll learn today is that a challenge is an opportunity in disguise. Every great man I ever studied, from the poorest farmer to the richest industrialist, had to face adversity. They had to face challenges that seemed insurmountable. But they did not see these challenges as roadblocks. They saw them as a training ground for their courage, a forge for their character, and a blueprint for their success. They understood that the very thing they feared was the very thing that would make them stronger. The weight you carry is not a condemnation. It is a sign that you are on the precipice of a great transformation. The fear you feel is simply the resistance you must overcome to become the person you are destined to be. I am going to give you the tools to take that weight, that fear, and that anxiety and turn it into a powerful force for creation. You have a choice. You can either let these fears control you, or you can use them as fuel to propel you forward. The difference between a life of possibility and a life of regret is decided in this single choice. Do not let your fears win. They are not a part of your identity. They are simply a feeling, and a feeling can be changed. I learned from Andrew Carnegie that the mind is the greatest tool a person possesses. It is a powerful engine, and it can be directed toward either fear or faith. Most people, especially when they are young, let their minds be filled with the endless chatter of others. They listen to the doubts of their friends, the expectations of society, and the constant stream of negative information that surrounds them. They allow these external forces to control their inner world, and in doing so, they become a slave to their own fears. I'm going to teach you how to do the opposite. You will learn to take control of your thoughts and direct them with a definite purpose so strong that fear will have no choice but to retreat. Think of your mind as a garden. You can either allow weeds of doubt, anxiety, and comparison to grow, or you can cultivate seeds of courage, confidence, and purpose. The choice is yours, and it is made with every single thought you entertain. The fears you carry are not a part of your identity. They are simply thoughts. And a thought, like a weed, can be pulled out by its roots and replaced with something more powerful. A thought of courage, a thought of faith, a thought of definite purpose. I saw this in action in the life of Thomas Edison. He was not a man who was immune to failure. He had 1,000 reasons to give up on his work. The people around him told him he was wasting his time. The technology of his day was against him. But he had a purpose so clear, so definite, that his mind had no room for fear. He was not afraid of the unknown. He was excited by it. He did not see a failure as a sign to quit. He saw it as a lesson. He had achieved absolute mastery over his own mind, and in doing so, he achieved mastery over his circumstances. You possess the same power. Your greatest weapon against fear is not a magic charm or a motivational phrase. It is your own mind, directed by a single, unwavering purpose. You just have to learn how to use it. I once spoke with a boy who was utterly crippled by the fear of failure. He was so terrified of getting a bad grade that he wouldn't even try to answer a question in class. He would study for hours, memorizing facts and figures. But when it came time to perform, his mind would freeze. The fear of getting the wrong answer was a greater enemy to him than a lack of knowledge. He was so afraid of the unknown, of the possibility of being judged and found lacking, that he had chosen to remain silent. He had chosen the security of anonymity over the risk of potential failure. I told him a profound truth I learned from my studies of the world's most successful men. Your fear of failing is a greater enemy than the failure itself. A bad grade, a wrong answer, a social mistake. These are not a condemnation of your worth. They are simply feedback. They are a signal from the universe telling you that you need to try a new approach, that you need to learn something new, that you need to adjust your course. They are not a final verdict. They are a teaching moment. He was so busy trying to be perfect that he had forgotten how to learn. I explained to him that Thomas Edison, the man who gave us the light bulb, failed over 1,000 times before he succeeded. The world saw 1,000 failures. Edison saw 1,000 lessons. He saw 1,000 ways not to invent a light bulb. He was not afraid of failure. He was afraid of inaction. He was afraid of a life where he did not try. The boy I spoke with was paralyzed by the very thing that Edison embraced. The boy was a prisoner of his own thoughts. His greatest obstacle was not the difficulty of the task, but the weakness of his own thoughts. He had to learn to see his failures not as roadblocks, but as guideposts. He had to learn that the only true failure in life is not trying. The only real loss is a lesson unlearned. The greatest cause of fear in a young person's life is a lack of definite purpose. Without a clear destination, your mind will wander, and a wandering mind will always default to fear. It is a fundamental principle of human psychology. When you have no clear goal to focus on, your mind, in its desire to keep you safe and secure, begins to fill the void with every reason you should not move forward. It will point out every potential danger, every possible failure, every flaw in your plan and in your character. The mind is a powerful engine, and without a definite purpose to guide it, it will simply spin its wheels in the mud of doubt and anxiety. Think of it like a ship at sea. A ship without a rudder and without a destination is at the mercy of the winds and the waves. It will be tossed and turned, its journey dictated not by its own will, but by the chaos of the ocean. Your mind is the ship. Your fears are the storm. Your definite purpose is the rudder. When you have a single, clear, unwavering goal, your mind has something to latch onto. It has a reason to move forward. It has a mission. And when it is engaged in the pursuit of that mission, it has no time for the idle chatter of fear and self-doubt. I observed this in the life of Henry Ford. He was not a man who was easily swayed. When he faced a challenge, he did not allow his mind to be filled with doubt. He had a singular, unwavering purpose, to build a motor car for the masses. This definite purpose was so powerful that it became a mental compass, guiding his every thought and every action. He had critics, both from the outside world and likely from his own inner voice, but they had no power over him because his purpose was too strong. He was too busy building his dream to listen to the whispers of his fears. Your purpose is the antidote to your fears. It gives you a reason to act, and in the face of action, fear loses its power. Your courage is not a thing you are born with. It is a muscle, and like any muscle, it must be exercised to grow strong. The principles I have shared with you today are not just theories. They are a resilience toolkit, a set of practical tools that you can use to build a powerful and unshakable inner world. I want to give you 3 specific tools that you can begin using today. The first is the Mastermind Alliance. You have heard me speak of this before. It is the principle of surrounding yourself with a group of like-minded individuals who share a common purpose. For you, this is not just about finding friends. It is about choosing your company carefully, for they will either be your greatest asset or your heaviest burden. The people you spend time with will either fill your mind with doubt or with courage. They will either encourage you to play small, or they will inspire you to think big. Find a small group of friends who share your ambition, who lift you up when you are down, and who are not afraid to challenge you to be better. Your success is a reflection of the people you surround yourself with. The second tool is controlled attention. Fear thrives on a wandering mind. It feeds on worry, on what-if scenarios, and on the problems you cannot solve. The antidote to this is to consciously and deliberately focus your attention on the solution, not the problem. When a fear arises, the fear of a bad grade, for example, do not allow your mind to be consumed by the worry. Instead, immediately ask yourself, what is the single next step I can take right now to address this problem? It might be to open your book, to ask your teacher a question, or to take a single practice test. By shifting your attention from the problem to the solution, you are starving your fear and feeding your purpose. The final tool is personal initiative. This is the power of taking action, no matter how small. Action is the ultimate antidote to fear. It builds confidence and momentum, turning your fears into fuel. The man who is afraid to start a project will find his fear grows every day. The man who takes a single small step will find his fear begins to shrink. Do not wait for a perfect time. Do not wait for all your doubts to disappear. Just act. Take that first small step, and your confidence will begin to grow. These 3 tools, the right friends, a focused mind, and a commitment to action, will be the foundation of a life lived not in fear, but in courage. Your life is a blank page. The challenges you face today are not dead ends. They are simply the ink with which you will write the most compelling chapters of your story. The difficult test, the social setback, the moment of rejection, these are not failures. They are the plot points. They are the moments that will shape your character and give your journey meaning. The only thing that can truly hold you back, the only thing that can truly limit your future, is the fear you allow to win. The principles I have shared with you today are not just for success in business, they are for success in life. They are your blueprint for a life of courage, resilience, and unshakable confidence. Every time you face a fear and choose to act, you are not just overcoming an obstacle, you are building the foundation of a new life. You are training yourself to be a person who is not defined by their circumstances, but by their response to those circumstances. The life you are living right now is a direct result of all the choices you have made up until this moment. But your future is unwritten. It is not predetermined by your past failures or by the expectations of others. It is a page that you get to fill with every single choice you make from this moment forward. I want you to choose courage. I want you to choose action. I want you to choose growth. The principles I have given you are your tools. Use them to write a future that is not defined by fear, but by freedom. Your destiny is waiting for you. It's time to begin writing. I want you to remember this. Your adversity is not a wall. It is a blueprint for your future. It is a training ground for your courage. Do not run from your fears. Face them with a definite purpose, an unwavering faith, and a commitment to action. Your destiny is waiting for you on the other side of your fear. Key takeaways and action steps. 1. Your mind is the key. The first step to conquering fear is to understand that your mind is the most powerful tool you have. You can either let your fears control it, or you can direct it with purpose. 2. Find your purpose. A definite chief aim is the ultimate antidote to fear. Write down a single, clear goal for your life, your school year, or even just this week. 3. Take action. When fear arises, use personal initiative to take a single small action toward your goal. Action is the antidote to fear. 4. Your assignment. Right now, think of one thing that is causing you anxiety. It could be a test, a conversation, or a project. Now write down the very first step you can take to face that challenge. Do it. Remember, your success begins the moment you decide to act.